Now, hoping that the signal does get a little bit clearer from us to John, because as we are at the moment, I've never had to do this before, ever. We've had to do hand signals down the camera to make sure that John knows how
Well, good.
long he's got on. Good morning, John. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, guys. That usual surge of adrenaline when you're going live on something and you're like, wow, this, I'm not sure it works. Anyway, I can hear you loud and clear now. We're all good.
Excellent. Well, that's wonderful. Now, the voice, if you don't recognize it, it is John Kirkby. Now, John, he was the founder and the CEO of CAP, Christians Against Poverty. And when he got in touch, we were having a natter about a year and a half ago, and he was telling us a little bit about his heart for this new ministry. And that was all we knew. We didn't know very much about it. And then 5 months ago, we were having another natter and he told us all about it. And this is so exciting. It's called I-61. And did you know, I just want to put some facts out there, that 8 out of 10 Christians have the desire but struggle to share their faith. Now, if you think about it, that's not looking good for people coming to Christ. In fact, that's quite a scary stat, isn't it, John?
Yeah, it is. When we kind of worked it out, it came from an Evangelical Alliance survey in 2021, and that is now backed up by our 2-year work working with Christians in a place where they can be absolutely honest. But it does fit in with the number of people who are finding Christ that are not either kids of people who are going to church, or people who are drawn already into church. We're not drawing new people into church. So yeah, it kind of fits up with the stats of church decline, but obviously we're now doing something about it, which is very exciting.
And I just want to ask, why do you think that is? Why do you think that we're finding it so difficult to share our faith with other people?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, to be honest, it's 3 simple things. The first one is that the vast majority of Christians haven't got enough significant friends outside of their church, Christian family, Christian friends bubble. The second one is people really don't know what to do. Obviously, there are certain people who are anointed evangelists who can stand up in front of a room of people they don't know, and by his grace and by his spirit, people find Christ, and we applaud that. But people see that and go, that's not me, and it isn't me. So yeah, they don't know what to do. And the third thing is they've low confidence around how they'll be received, rejected, all that kind of stuff around being judged as a Christian. So those 3 things, and any one of those 3 things takes you out. You might have all 3, but anyone will take you out. And that is what I spent the 18 months where, to be honest, you say you didn't know what we were doing. To be honest, when we first spoke, I didn't know what I was doing. But a wonderful, wonderful year and a half of forensically taking those 3 problems apart, 3 trials. We've reached a point where it's now actually working, obviously in a micro way. We only just started in March, but yeah, it's working. It's really working.
And this is what we love about you, because you take a problem and then you do something about it. So, do you know, poverty and people managing their finances, you did something about that, and that's been very successful. And now you've seen this and you've gone, well, actually, we and I can do something about this. So you've launched. Now, there's so much happening in this app. It's difficult just to sort of call it an app, because it's not just an app. It's a movement, isn't it, really? So tell us what we need to do. So we download the app, and then it opens up this world and this incredible resource of how to share our faith.
Yeah. So basically, the thing that we haven't got a problem with is the vast majority of Christians know that they really should be sharing their faith. So we really don't do anything around that. If someone doesn't believe they should share their faith, we just refer them back to the Bible. So that's dead easy. Secondly, the vast majority of people not only know they should, but really want to. So that's the people that we're working with. And basically, we all have good intentions. I mean, just at church on Sunday, brilliant preach from a guy, really inspiring stuff about reaching out to your friends and your neighbors. And I could tell in the church, so many people go, yes, I'm going to do that. Yes, that's me. That's me. Now, this is no criticism of them and no criticism of the preacher, who was great. But I said to Lizzie as we were driving, went over to see my granddaughter after church, I said to Lizzie, I said, the chances of people actually doing those good intentions is really low, because if good intentions, resulted in revival, we'd have one, because we've all got good intentions. So the app is really two things. It's an extremely simple, you can't get it wrong, setting a goal in 3 areas. And these 3 areas match exactly with the 3 areas of problems. So the first one is having not having enough or no significant non-Christian friends. So the first one is share life. This is where you carve out a small amount of time every month for you to basically be open to develop new and deepen existing friendships. And you literally set a goal. If you set a goal and you date it and you name it, then you are much more likely to do it. So it's a goal setting app. The third part is sharing your faith, which is growing in confidence. To just share your faith story. It's really important. We think we need to know how to evangelize. I think we just need to tell our story and let people know what Jesus means to us. So that's the second part. And the third one is share Jesus, which I'm sure we'll go on to explaining. But again, very simply inviting others to experience him. So we've made it really simple. We've de-skilled it. We set the app up is the goal setting. And the final part of it is that you need to do it in groups, because our 3 trials proved, first of all, if you don't date it and you don't write it down, you don't do it. So that was obvious. If you date it and write it down and you pick the goal, you're kind of more likely to do it. But if you do all that in your midweek group once a month, or in a separate group with people who want to do this, the chances of you doing it go right the way up 70-80%. So, that's really what we've done. And the rest is just resources to help people understand. But it's so simple. We've kept it simple. And that is the secret of Isaiah 61 movement. Simple goal setting app around 3 areas. Off you go. It's not a course. It's a lifestyle change, a culture change. And we're already starting to see that happen.
We're going to play a song and then we'll be back with John soon. But what I want you to do, your call to action, as they call it, is to head over to the website now. And it's really simple. It is literally i61m.org, i61m.org. And from there, you can download the app, but you can read some of these stats and you can find out more. So i61m.org. You head over there and we'll be back with John in just a moment. When you have to shout to the guest, like you're almost visiting your elderly relative in the retirement home.
My children, that's what I am, to be honest, Gareth. I think you're just confirming their thought that their dad is now over 60 and needs to share with a little blanket and they'll be fine, But.
So if I do the whole interview like this, hello, should we go and see Grandad John? You'll feel at home, will you?
Oh, yeah, I just ignore them, though, and just plow on,
So we directed you to the website, which is great. But also, do you know, this is basically app-based, and it's a really, really easy app. And you'll know what I mean when you download an app and there's just so many buttons to press and you don't know what you're doing. You're just sort of going like, right, well, what do I do? Where am I with all this? Well, I've logged in right now. And what you do is you download the app, obviously, and then you will see a real fresh home screen.
You got to register first, Gareth. There's 5 questions which let you know where you are. There's a few questions. It takes about 2 minutes, and then you get onto that landing page, yeah.
I think, I know, in fact, I have registered a while ago. So what you do is, and I can hold this up to the screen, but you can actually go and see this yourself, download the app, and then once you've filled in your details and you've done that short little simple questionnaire, it only takes you about 40 seconds, easy. It will then say, I'm new or I'm in. Now, just explain to us, John, what this means. So I'm new or I'm in.
If this is your first time downloading the app and you want to register, you're new. Once you've registered, you're in. So you just go straight through. And the registration process, we're up about 70. So 7 out of 10 people who download it are registering, which says it straight away. That's a huge amount of people that are doing that because people want to do it and they want something new and fresh and different. And that's really what this is. And then as soon as you get on the landing page, which is you get that.
Yeah, I'm on it now.
You're like, oh, look at that. All you do is we suggest you start with Share Live. So you just press Share Live. There's little 2-minute videos to help you, but basically click on Set a Goal and think of someone who you already know or someone on your street, someone at work that you think, you know what, I'm just going to maybe have a coffee or I'm just going to see how they are or I'm going to send them a text or it's really, no goal is too small and all the goals are confidential and they're your goals. They're not anybody's. And the whole thing is free as well. It's not free. It costs but we're giving it away.
Yeah.
Really
So,
not free, not
yeah,
free, but we're giving it away because we think the world of the generous gets larger and larger, and it's spreading. We've got 23 countries now, Gareth, that have picked it up. We didn't even tell anybody. It's just got out.
amazing.
Amazing.
And what I do love about this is there's little short videos. There's nothing worse than sort of seeing the length of the video and you notice that it's about 35 minutes long. And
No,
they haven't put any sort of markers on there. So basically, you're just there going, when will this end? Well, this here, I mean, I haven't seen one video yet, and I've been using this for about 2.5 months. And I haven't
yeah,
seen one video yet, which is over about 1.5 minutes, which is great. So it's all
yeah,
really, really easy, isn't it?
yeah. Basically, we've got a rule. So less is more. So literally, say less quicker is more than saying more longer. So I think our longest video is like 3 minutes, and that's your proper, really in-depth look at share life or share faith or share Jesus. It's really is really, really. We just passed last week. Our 1,000th goal has just been set since March. That's 1,000 people since March have gone, do you know what? I think I can build a friendship or develop one I've already got. I'm going to set a goal. Meeting together in midweek groups. It is. We just watch it every week and go, wow, there's such energy out there. You know, the Christian world is waiting, wants to share Jesus, just needs something that takes their intentions and makes them, yeah, real. I've just set my
So,
goal. I've just achieved my goal this week. You know, just
well, on that note, I'm interested. What's your goals?
yeah, yeah, I've got them all. Got them all.
Go on.
Yeah, so they're all really simple. Yeah, so I've just run down some of my goals. Obviously, they're confidential. They're mine. Nobody knows them. So
Okay.
you got like send. I say Dave. You know, send Dave a text. Invite him. You know, invite him for a walk. Invite him for a beer. Go and have a beer. Go have a walk. And the thing is, people say, well, that sounds a bit projecty. Like Dave's a project. Dave's not a project. It kind of says to him, and it says to me, I care about his friendship enough that I'm going to
Mm.
actually prioritize him. So all you're doing is taking what you should be doing anyway and literally just writing it down and setting a goal. Because if you don't do it. And wonderfully, it works the other way as well now. So Dave, you know, just
Great.
and says, John, do you want to, you know, I got, yeah, amazing. But, you know, and my life is enhanced by the friendship I've got with Dave. You know, been, you know, a couple of years now. And my life is enhanced. And he came to church at Easter. Got another guy on the street, Paul, who again stopped me in the street a few weeks ago. Just said, "Oh, how are you doing, John? I had a new knee fitted and hobbling around." And then, "How are you?" So there you go. That's the first leaning in. I just leant in and said, "How are you?" He told me how he was, and I could have just said, "Oh, I'm sure you'll get better," but I didn't. I leant in again and said, "Oh, tell me more. I'm interested in him." And then he told me more, and I said, "Do you fancy getting together for a coffee? You know, I'd love to hear more and see if I can help." And he snapped my hand off. Why? Because I leant in. So the whole thing is just leaning forward. You don't have to do, it's not a massive, huge, you know, go on the street, knock on doors, invite people to church. No, don't do that. I was a build friendship, share your faith, let them know you're a Christian, small steps, growing confidence, and invite people to experience Jesus. Simple, easy, accessible for everyone. Everyone can do Isaiah 61. You can. Anybody watching and listening, you can, or not. It's your choice. But thousands now are starting to make the choice of, you know, we're going to pile in and join together with Johnny Boy and his mates, and let's see what we can do.
And this is a thing, isn't it? You know, in a way, we underestimate how important one of those little short conversations can be. And I'm sure in your many years of ministry, you'll be able to share a lot about this, how it's it started with, as you said, a little asking somebody how they are and actually
Honestly,
caring about them.
yeah. So basically, the surprise, the journey of Isaiah 61 and what we've done, actually, I've capped it. It mirrors my own story. So again, there's brand new super videos coming out in September, which will guide people through a midweek group. So you just put it up on YouTube and it guides you through a group. You don't have to do anything. It says, right now, break out and talk about this, right? Break out and set a goal, right? Break out and pray together. It's literally, it's just easy. We've de-skilled it. And basically, you know, how did I find Christ? Well, a guy called Paul connected with me. I was actually a debt collector in Bradford at the time. I was picking his rent up. But he connected with me. He asked me for a cup of tea. He obviously, and he listened to me, and he was bothered about me. And despite the veneer of success, I was falling apart. My marriage was failing. I'd used debts. I was in a desperate place. And he befriended me. He was concerned about me. He didn't talk about him all. He asked me how I was. He shared his life. And then, as I got to know him over the months, he let me know he was a Christian, and he'd come over from Norway, and he was really amazed by what God had done in his life. And I'm like, wow, you've got something I could do with that. Then he said, would you like to come to church? He invited me to experience Jesus. And upon those 3 things he did over about a year, I found faith. And this isn't an instant thing. By the way, if it happens instantly, brilliant. Well done. But this is a culture change. It takes time. And we've got churches signing up all the time as partner churches, where we've got a support team who work with them to integrate it into midweek groups and all the rest of it. It's really, honestly, I mean, obviously I'm bound to be excited or I won't be doing it. But I've been around long enough to know. I have been around long enough to know when God's in something. And there's something about this that I think in the next few years, by his grace and by him, not by us, not might and power, but by his spirit, I think we're going to see a bit of a revolution.
Good. And
people can drop onto what's called I61 Live. It's all on the website or on your app, where we do a 30-minute demonstration where you actually set your goal in 30 minutes. And we've had hundreds go through that since March. And again, 9 out of 10 of them set a goal in 30 minutes. And then we do eyesight. We do my Isaiah 61 at home, which is this thing coming out in September, where you just put a video on in a home group for 30 minutes. And then we've got my I61 for anybody who's on their own or isolated, and you can come into. We run an online group for people. And last week we had one group we had somebody from Italy, somebody from Nigeria, and somebody from Canada, plus 6 of us from the UK. And we had a fantastic hour together, like a midweek group online. So no one is excluded from this. 3 simple things: I61 Live, I61 at home, and that comes out in September. And then we've got my I61, which is an actual group. So it's all on a plate. You just have to be care enough. Find half an hour, come and find out, tell your church, and off we go.
Easy peasy. Well, download the app. It's all on there. You need to search I61M. I61M on your app store, whether it's Android or Apple, and you'll be able to download it. It's all free. Everything that they offer, the resources, the time, it's all free. And little segments, little nuggets, short ones of how to actually use the app. And it's really good, genuinely. And I wouldn't endorse something if I thought it was a load of rubbish. It's not a load of rubbish. Go to the App Store now.
I'm going to use that as a quote. Gareth Cottrell said, "This is not rubbish. It's not rubbish." That is my quote of the day. Listen, everybody, this is not rubbish because Gareth said so.
Well, if you want to add that on your website, can you imagine that? Like all of these deep, meaningful comments, and then Matt just, she's not rubbish, Gareth.
That'll do. It's not all singing and all dancing. It doesn't have it's not got daily readings because we don't need them. There's plenty of others doing them. It's what we're good at. The one thing we've come up with: innovative goal setting app to share your life deep and friendships, to share your faith, growing confidence, and upon that bed of friendship and confidence in explaining and talking about your own faith, inviting people to experience him. It really is for everybody, and it is going to transform a lot of stuff in the next couple of years. Watch this space.
Search I61M on your app store. John, it's always a pleasure. It's always nice to have a natter with you.
Always good, yeah, and thank you. And yeah, all the best to... Oh, can I just pray for everybody who's listening? Is that all right?
We'd love you to. You go for it, John.
Yeah, first of all, I'll just pray for Gareth and Connect Radio. We thank you for Gareth's warmth. He's just warm. He's doing this for the kingdom advancement, not his own. So we pray a blessing on him and all involved. Everybody who is listening, everybody who's watching, I just pray, Lord, not by might or power, by your spirit, would you just draw them to have a moment to go, do you know what? I've not been involved in someone finding faith for years. Well, that can change. So, Father, will you inspire them and help them to take their first steps to connect with us and let their church know? And together, let's see your kingdom come through our obedience by turning our good intentions into action and watching you do the rest. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. John, blessings to you and all the team, because I know you're working so hard at this, and we'll catch up with you again in September when you've launched this new at-home project.
Honestly, mate, wait till we just filmed and we got I've just done Gavin Calvert EA. He's done one with me. We've got Mike Royal. He's done another one with me. So these are mates of mine who really, like you, have decided that it's not rubbish.
We will definitely call when this video goes out. That will be the main caption. It's not rubbish.
Gareth says it's not rubbish. Johnny Boy says it's not rubbish. It's not complicated. It's really simple, and everybody can do it. Yeah.
And you just search it out on the App Store. I61M. You take care, John.
Okay. Cheers, Gareth. Thanks, everybody.